Hello, fellow human. This is day 2 of my 30-day Talk to Camera challenge. The topic for today is to discuss a book you read or an article you read, but instead I'm going to talk about a podcast I listen to. I listen to the Project Management Happy Hour podcast. I'm a project manager by trade. And I'm an absolute nerd when it comes to project management knowledge. And the title of the specific episode that I want to talk about was named The Iron Triangle of Finding a Project Management Job. And the guest on that episode of the Project Management Happy Hour podcast, I think it was episode 99 as a matter of fact, her name was Kayla Quijas, and she's a career coach. She's also got experience in project management. So the reason I listen to this is because it's a podcast I listen to, but also after I get back from my Camino, which currently I'm scheduled to finish in late May. After I get back, I'm going to be looking for my next role, whether that's being a project manager, an actual individual contributor delivering projects, which I can do, or being a program manager, or working within a PMO, which is generally seeks to make project management better for an organization. And so I thought the title was really intriguing. The Iron Triangle of Finding a Project Management Job. First of all, just a little bit of context is that in the world of project management, there is a concept called the Iron Triangle. Maybe I'll leave that to describe as a theory or an idea. I'll wait until a different recording. But in summary, there are a number of constraints that contribute to your project that you have to work within. The most common, which are known as the Iron Triangle for project managers, is scope, schedule, and budget. That is to say, what the project is going to achieve, what are the requirements that need to be delivered. That's your scope. Schedule is obviously how long it takes to complete the project. And then, of course, budget is how much it costs to do all of that. And when you combine those three aspects, those three constraints, there's a level of quality that's going to be delivered. So what the Iron Triangle is meant to inform us of is that a change to one of those constraints requires a change to one or both of the other constraints in order to maintain the same level of quality. Just real short, if you've got a project with 5 pieces of scope, it's going to take 5 weeks. You're going to spend $5,000. And then suddenly the person who you're doing the project for says, you know what, I need it in 3 weeks. You can either say no, that's not going to make anybody happy. You could say yes, and that's going to be a disaster for the project. But the best answer to the question, can you do it in 3 weeks instead of 5, is to say yes, but we'll need to descope some of the items in order to maintain the same level of quality and deliver within the same budget. Or yes, but it's going to take us more money. We need to increase our budget so we can bring in some more resources to work on it, and then we can deliver all 5 of those pieces of scope. And maintain the same level of quality. So that's the Iron Triangle in summary. What Kayla Quijas was talking about as a guest on the Project Management Happy Hour podcast was the Iron Triangle of finding a job in project management. And the 3 legs of that triangle are credentials, experience, and network. Those 3 things are going to contribute to the quality of your job search, so to speak. And it makes sense. As I've been thinking ahead towards what I do after I walk my Camino, I think about, how do I position myself so that I have an advantage in looking for a job in a very competitive job market. There's layoffs happening all over the place, and have been for a while, especially in the tech industry for a couple of years. That's the environment that I worked in most recently. But also now we're seeing it across tons of other sectors, including the federal government. So that just means more and more people to compete with for jobs. So I was really interested in hearing this. And what she talked about is, we can talk about credentials first. They're really important, obviously. And she spoke about the specific credentials that are most valuable for somebody looking for a job in project management. And according to her, the PMP issued by PMI and the CAPM also issued by PMI are probably the top two credentials you're looking for. Luckily, I've got both of those, as well as a number of other credentials. I've got an Agile certification for scaled Agile frameworks, customer success management, customer success leadership. I've got some credentials in specific project management software. So I feel like my credentialing is good, and I'm in good standing on all of them. So that's not going to be an issue for me. And I don't think there's a whole lot of ground to be gained by going after another cert. I've already got the gold standard. So feeling good there. The second leg, of course, is experience. Again, I've got all the experience I need. I've spent many, many years in project management. I've filled a bunch of different roles on project management teams. So I've been a project coordinator, I've been a project manager, I've been a program manager, I've been consultant, business analysis, strategic, all of those things. So feel really good about that. I helped set up PMOs, refine processes, all that good stuff. I even wrote an article about how to set up a successful PMO from scratch for your organization. So if you're interested in that, reach out. I'm happy to point you towards it if you're interested. So I've got a ton of great experience as well. And not only, again, as an individual contributor, I can manage a project, lead a project team, and all the things you need to do as a project manager. But for the last 2.5 years, I've been a project management strategic consultant, which is something a little different. It's that next level up. It's understanding project management as a discipline, as a set of tools and knowledge that can be applied to solve problems for organizations. And that's a little bit different. It requires more broad thinking, strategic analysis. It's really about aligning your stakeholders, especially your leadership stakeholders and other executives. So again, that's not my issue. The third aspect of the Iron Triangle that Kayla spoke about was your network. And specifically what we're talking about here is your professional network. And I would say out of those three aspects, my network is probably my weakest link in that triangle. And what she talked about, among other things, during this podcast was how gross it is to be just reaching out to people you've never talked to and asking for a connection or asking for a job. You're not going to have great results, I don't think, with that. At the very least, you're going to be limiting the number of results you do get. So what she suggested was a different approach. And what she suggested doing was to give something away for free. Everybody, I think, knows that the best practice for capturing as much value regarding your engagement with something like LinkedIn is to contribute. It's be engaged and involved in the content that's being produced, even if you're not the one producing the content. And that makes sense to me. You repost an article that you thought was really well written or that was very interesting. Maybe you comment on somebody else's post. Any kind of just thumbs up or anything like that. Engagement is the only way you're going to get something out of it. You gotta put something in to get something out. And that's really what the point was regarding networking as well. Growing your network is to give something away for free without asking for anything in return. And that puts you in people's line of sight for when they have something that they can help you with, maybe. And I thought that was really compelling. And then my mind turned to how to take advantage of opportunities. That's another thing that we as project managers like to do. You try to think of risks, turn them into opportunities, leverage strengths, things of that nature. And it got me thinking, I'm trying to get comfortable with creating, where's the sun? Oh, let's see how we do there. I'm trying to get comfortable with creating content. And I'm going to be capturing my journey, my Camino. And then when I come back, I'm going to be ready to talk to people about what my next role is. It got me thinking, I could use examples that I draw from my experiences on the Camino to talk about project management skills and fundamental knowledge, and how we use project management tools and techniques and skills to solve problems every day. Everybody can be a project manager, honestly. If you've ever painted a room in your house, or planned a big vacation, or cooked a big complicated meal for a house full of friends, you've managed a project. And a lot of people don't really realize that. And it might be interesting for some folks to hear. So I thought the podcast was really interesting for anybody who's, and I don't think this only applies to project management. I think this has to do across the board. It can apply to any industry or any discipline. So if you are thinking about your next role, maybe you're looking for one right now, maybe you're discouraged by submitting applications and not hearing anything back in a competitive job market like this one. If that's compelling to you, maybe give it a listen. It's really worth your time. It's only an hour. The hosts, Kim and Kate, are fantastic. I actually know Kim. We have worked together before, and I've learned a ton from him as kind of a project management hero of mine. So go over to Project Management Happy Hour podcast. Check out episode 99 with Kayla Quijas. I think the title was The Iron Triangle of Finding Your Next Project Management Job, or something like that. You guys have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow with recording number 3. Ciao.